Hello, everybody. Welcome back. It's Mo again. What I'm going to be doing in this lecture is setting up Active Directory on two separate servers, one for company A and one for company B. So look, let me start with Udemy. So let me look at a full screen here. Watch this. So I'm going to put this on a different network. I'm not going to be on the network that is my wireless network is on. So I'm going to go properties and let me remove version 6. We're not using version 6. And let me give this a static IP address. Let's say I'm going to be on the 192.168.100 network. And my default gateway, let's say it's 100.254, assuming that's the IP address of the router. And my DNS is 100.1, right? Okay. This is going to be a lot of fun. I'm involving routing over here. And I'm going to call this, let's say, Udemy. Okay. Let's say SRV1 as you see, or Udemy, let's say DC1. All right. And more, and I'm going to make this Udemy dot what? Dot local. Okay. Udemy dot local. That's my suffix. And of course, I don't have a domain yet. I'm going to click OK. And OK. And then restart. So this is on the 100 network. Then I'm going to go to Coursera, which is my second server, which is a separate company, a separate forest. Watch this. I'm going to put it on a different network, which by default they cannot talk to each other unless I involve routing. Right? It's going to be a lot of fun. Numlock is not on. 192.168.200.1. And let's say the gateway is 200.254 and DNS is also 200.1. Then okay, then okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the system properties. Oh, come on. Change, and I'm going to call this Coursera, right? So I'm changing this according just to the same specifics of the first one, DC1, and I'm going to make this Coursera.local. Coursera.local. Sorry, nobody's saying anything that I've been doing uppercase. All right. It looks like, yes, there you go. Or Sarah dot local. Then okay. So I have a fully qualified domain name. Then I'm going to click OK, right? And then OK, close and restart. And let me go back to server one. So here are server one is back online. Remember, the first step that I do is install DNS. Look, I want to actually show you what's going to happen without DNS, folks. So you can see this again. It'll be fun. I didn't change the time zone. I just left it as Pacific. Anybody lives in Pacific, you have a chance to see like, okay, this is on your time zone. So I'm not modifying that. So as you see, I don't have DNS installed. I want to install Active Directory Domain Service. I want to install actually Active Directory Domain Services first of all. And where is it? And I'm going to put a check mark also in DNS, but I'm not going to configure DNS. Okay. I'm not going to configure DNS at all. So I have Active Directory Domain Services and DNS. Next, and install. And I'm going to do the same thing on the second server. All right. There you go. See, they're fast. And let me just put the passwords. They have the same password. Okay. And I'll tell you why I'm doing this on purpose. You'll be surprised in a moment later on. Let me just go ahead and install Active Directory Domain Services and DNS. I'm doing the same thing as whatever I'm doing on server one. I'm actually doing it on server two. But as you see, they're both on different networks. So let me close this out. Go to manage, add roles and features. Okay, we have to give it a few seconds until server manager loads. So manage, add roles and features. And I'm going to go next, right? And I'm going to put a check mark in Active Directory Domain Services and DNS. So that's what I'm doing here. Then next, all the way through. Give it a moment. And let me minimize this and go back to the first server. There you go. It's almost done. Almost done over here. Then I'll try to promote and I'll show you that it's going to fail at the DNS side until I actually create a zone for the domain name that I'm going to be actually hosting. So let's give this a few seconds. Let's give it a moment and see how this actually works out for us. All right, almost there. All right. And then I'm going to promote, of course, each one is going to be a new forest. As you see, each one is on a different network. And I'll be testing this. I'll show you that there's no way that they could actually talk to each other, right? So let's keep that in mind. They cannot talk to each other at all by default. I'm just setting up the actual parent domain. Each one has its own forest, its own parent, right? Each one has its own network, even though I'm using the same physical box, let's say. It doesn't really matter. So I'm going to promote and I'm going to say add a new forest, and this is going to be Udemy, right? Dot local. Watch this. Remember, I always like dot local. That's what I would recommend. So nobody can connect to you from the outside. It's a secure domain. Never use .net, .org, .edu, .com. Never use those. Always dot local, dot inside. So it's an actual private domain, right? That's the best way to approach whenever you're hosting an actual domain itself. It should be coming up soon. So look, DNS, okay. Remember, I could actually mess with a farce and domain function level. This is the DSRM password that we reset earlier. So I'm just going to put a password over here, give it a few seconds until it populates, and continue. Give it a moment and see how this works out for us. All right, next. Look, it's failing. Okay, well, take a look at this. Look what I'm going to do. I'm going to fix the problem by creating an actual zone for udemy.local. See that? Udemy, we're going to cover DNS soon. Udemy.local. Be a lot of fun and allow for dynamic updates. Now I have an A record for it, all right? And a name server, SOA. We'll see those. So now, if I go back to the promotion, I hit the back key and I go next. Okay, let's go next again. Next. Okay, I probably have to cancel and promote again. Right? Let's see. So add new forest, Udemy, dot local. Next, it's gonna find it quick. It's gonna know, oh, I know Udemy. It's somewhere. I could see how fast I was. Remember before it took a while? You see, when you do things the right way, everything is much faster. There you go. This is good. I don't need to create the delegation. No error message like the way it was before. So I'm gonna go next, next, and all the way through. Let's give it a moment. Next. All right. Next, next. And we're gonna finish the installation. And then I'm going to do the same thing, which is a separate company on my second server, which is for Coursera. Install. Okay, good. I'm going to minimize this and I'm going to go to my second server. So remember, I'm just going to leave this the way it is. We're not touching anything here. And we'll go back to here. I rather configure DNS since I already showed you what's going to actually happen. All right. And Coursera.local, right? Coursera.local. Next, 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 and finish. There we go. Right? Okay, this is good. And let me promote the server to a domain controller. And I'm going to add a new forest. And I'm going to put this as Coursera.local and go next. This time, I'm not going to see that error message the way I see it on Udemy. See, it's quick, right? And password and password and go next. There you go. This is perfect. This is the proper way. Next. And we're going to go all the way through. See how this actually works out for us. Almost there. Next. And next and next and finish. And install. And install. Okay, good. So let me take a look at and see the other server. See, here's this one. All right. And this one is finishing up. So it's actually restarting. This is actually good, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the video and we'll come back soon. All right. So I'm actually pausing at the moment so we don't actually waste much time. All right. We'll see you folks later. There you go, folks. Watch this. Everything is back online. So I could actually go ahead and log on to my second company, Coursera slash administrator, right? This is a different organization. And let me do the same thing on the first one. Let me log on over here also, Udemy. So I have two separate companies. That's what we're going to do with this lecture. We're going to continue with the actual domains and trust in our next lecture. So we'll see you guys soon. All right, everybody. Bye.